Good morning, gang. Good morning. Welcome back to this week's altcoin update. First and foremost, remember, nothing discussed today is financial advice. This is for educational purposes only, and it's my view of the market. And now that's out of the way, let's jump into the chart. So we're going to do a quick recap today of YGG and KAS, or Casper, as we were talking about last week, and give you an update. And then we're also going to jump into LPT and FET. Because they've been requested this week, and we've also been trading them in the group, because obviously it's the Bybit World Series of Trading competition, so we've been taking a deep dive into altcoins quite a bit recently. Before we get into the charts, I need to ask you guys a favour. YouTube seems to be holding back our video and not showing it to a larger audience. It seems to be only showing it to our subscriber base, to you guys. So I want to try a little experiment today, so I need your help. So if you enjoy the content given, then I want you to go down into the comments box below, and I simply just want you to type either good morning, good evening, or good night, depending on what time you are watching this video and where in the world you are. If you could simply comment good morning, good evening, or good night, and let's show to YouTube that our videos want to be watched, and see if we can grow the channel together. So yeah, it'd be greatly appreciated if you don't mind helping out, guys. Now that's out of the way, let's jump in. YGG. So obviously last week's video, okay, we'd had the big rejection off the range EQ / golden pocket, okay, and we were coming down, and last week when we were recording the video, which would have been last Tuesday, let's zoom right in, we would have been here, hovering around here, and I was saying at the time I wouldn't mind one more swipe down, okay, into these lows and take out these early longs. Okay, these early longs that are buying this wick up, I wouldn't mind one more swipe down, take out these early longs, and then see what we get down here. Okay, so we can see here, this is what we're looking at. There's my little squiggle, okay, and lining up with these lows over here, which you can see on the chart here. Okay, and that's what we got in the end. It's still not come that low, I'll be honest. I wouldn't mind another dip, but we got the move down, and obviously the early longs got stopped out in the end. Okay, so what am I looking for next on here? Well, okay, so I've taken profits from my shorts, by the way, just as an FYI. But down here now, okay, where would I be interested in taking longs? Well, realistically, I'd want to flush out these guys, come into this volume cluster here, then show me some strength with a market structure break to the upside, okay, then I'll be interested in longs. And if we get that trigger, then we can then start to look back up towards the highs, okay, not the ultimate highs, but let's assume that that's in for now. And we can see here, we've got the golden pocket, okay? The golden pocket lining up with this volume cluster here that caused the breakdown in the end, okay? So if we do end up getting that move to the upside, we can start to look at filling out this inefficient move. Now, you guys know I like to short the market, and I do like to short the market, and I talk about thin, inefficient moves all the time. Well, just like if it was to the upside, this is to the downside. We've got a thin, efficient move. So if we do start taking out these highs without a significant pullback, then we can start to look at this effectively being filled back in, up into this last sticky zone, okay? So effectively the last sticky zone will be, you can barely see it on that. In fact, let's throw it on a, here we go, let's do it this way. You can see, we can see here, sticky zone right up at the top. See this high volume node? Okay, where we are right now, around the point of control, it's pretty obvious. Okay, loads of volume accumulating down here. Now, again, positioning both sides, so it kind of makes no difference. You get the people that are chasing the trend and want it to carry on going lower, so there'll be people FOMOing short here, because obviously they've seen this big move and they just think it's going to continue forever. And likewise, we're going to see people understanding that this is a potential support region from back here, okay, and looking to build a position. So what I'd want to see, as I said, is I want to see a flush out, either a flush to the downside, or if this doesn't happen, okay, if this doesn't happen, then the alternative would be a spike up first, okay? So if we end up getting the spike up first to flush out everything, then start going down, then that's a little bit more bearish, okay? Flush out all these positions that are in here, flush them out, and then start to drag price down, okay? But I'm not going to be interested in shorting up here. I'd only be interested in shorting if we come back up here and we've got a damn good reaction, okay? But for the long trigger, it's quite simple, is that. Okay, and as I say, assuming that we can get back above this range here, this consolidation, then we can start targeting back up higher. Okay, very simple on YGG. Okay, So that's what we're looking at there. And obviously, if it does continue rolling over further, then we can start looking back down towards the origin of the move. Okay, so that's YGG. Next, KAS. Well, we've got the continuation that we were looking for. Obviously, last week we were talking about how we believe that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and therefore we're expecting a correction. However deep that is, obviously that's just a squiggle, but effectively, ideally, we're looking for a 3-wave correction. And then after that 3-wave correction finishes, then we can start looking to get involved to go back up. Now, again, I'm not saying it's going to finish here, because it could finish anywhere within this zone. But then obviously you're looking to get involved then for your wave 3, okay? That's assuming it's not a complete rug pull and it doesn't completely fold over. Okay, but so, last week we were recording the video, would have been Tuesday, so it would have been here. Okay, around here. And then what I was saying at the time on Tuesday's video was start to lose these lows here, which is obviously this little final triangle that we're looking at. Then we can start looking down to our next sticky zone. Now our next sticky zone was this volume cluster here, which is this. And where we're coming to? Into this sticky zone. Okay, so that's all we're doing. We're seeing where the volume is. Okay, it's not rocket science, it's not difficult. Okay, likewise, if we start to come back up, we can see we've got a high volume node around here. Okay, so if we do start coming back up into this, then we can potentially look to add back into shorts. Or alternatively, it gets no reaction there and it just continues back up and continues up. Either way, it's absolutely fine. Okay, we're just looking where price is likely going to react. Okay, so within this now. Okay, so if we start to see this now, starting to change structure to the upside, okay, making higher highs and higher lows, okay, then we can start looking to get involved. Again, I'm in no rush. I'm in no rush because I'm still quite happily sat in my short position, okay, which I have taken profits on, just as an FYI, before this does turn around and stop me out and, you know, people come into the comments and say, oh, you took an L, you shouldn't have shorted. Yeah, you need to understand how to trade before you start making comments like that. Okay, so we're in this zone here, okay, so what else have we got down here as confluence in this zone? Well, we've got the algo pocket, okay? So that's what we're looking at right now. Okay, so again, if we start changing structure, then we could potentially look for longs up into the next sticky zone just above us. Okay, well, what if this carries on rolling over and this offers no support at all and we just fall straight through this? Well, if we fall straight through this, then just underneath value area, we've got high volume node, again, lining up with these local range lows. But if that offers no support, then ultimately, I'll be looking back down towards this sticky zone down here, okay? So you've got one here and one here. So this would likely slow price down, but more realistically, these lows would be more appealing as a liquidity swipe. Why would they be more appealing? Well, because we know there's going to be stop losses down there. Okay, so if we do end up coming down here, swipe those lows, change the structure, well, you got a long trigger. If not, let it fall down towards the point of control. Start to lose that, then it starts to look really bearish, okay? Well, what happens if it just starts blasting up from here? Well, again, if it starts blasting up, then sticky zone. If we do get beyond that, then likely we're going to start contesting these highs again. Okay, very simple, level to levels, nothing overly complicated here. Okay, look for where your sticky zones are, and if you start getting above the sticky zones and there's no real sticky zones left, again, this being the last one, then we can start to contest these highs and look to take out the highs. Now, does it take out the highs in a simple swing failure pattern or a failed rally, or does it just continue pushing up? We have to wait and see, because nobody can answer that question. All we need to know is where are the sticky zones and what do we do when price comes into those sticky zones? Does it give us the reaction we're looking for? Okay, so that's the CAS update. Next, LPT. So LPT was one that we were looking at in the group last week. My first area of interest didn't give a reaction at all. And in the end, what we did is we came up into the overall algo pocket. Okay. Now, how did we know it was going to react there? Well, we didn't, but what we did know was we had a sticky zone up here. You can see it. You don't need me to draw a volume profile on this, but you can see it. So you got, this is on the 4-hour chart. Let's zoom into the daily chart and you can see it even more. Look, we've got all this cluster here. We spent days. We spent from here to here. That's 14 days, 2 weeks in this zone here, building up volume. Okay. Now, what did we end up doing? Well, we came back up into this point of control. The point of control of this range. Okay. So again, some people will call it an order block, supply zone, demand zone, whatever you want to call it. It makes no difference to me. All that makes a difference is this is a range, a previous range that we've left, and we've come back in and we've back tested it. Okay, the point of control of that range, and we've had a good reaction. Okay, now initially I was in the group telling the guys that I was interested in this zone. Okay, I was interested in this zone, but in the end we came up with the first reaction here, which was a damn good rejection, and then we came back up into it again and we got no reaction. Okay, we can zoom down to the 4 hour. You can see this a little bit clearer. We got a small tiny reaction here. We didn't actually break any structure in the end, so we actually blasted straight through it. And what did we blast up into? This sticky zone. Okay, so that I didn't catch this shot, FYI, because this happened over a weekend, but I know some of the guys in the group did, because we were all looking at him, and in the end they got a nice shot out of this. So from highs to the lows, you're looking at a 31% move. Okay, now depending on how you got in and where your entry and your invalidation was, that was a very nice trade to be had. Okay, so that's all you're looking for. Okay, you can make it as complicated as you want, or you can make it as simple as you want. Okay, so what's going to happen next? Well, okay, so let's get rid of some of these squiggles. We can see. So we've had a reaction from this level now. Now we've got to find out where's the strongest support. Okay, so let's do from the low up to the high. Okay, where's the strongest support going to be? Well, realistically, obviously we've had one bounce here, little high volume node here. Now preference would be for it to roll over again. Okay, take out these lows into this point of control and then see if we get a change of structure on a lower term time frame and a damn good reaction. If we get that, then we've got a long trigger. Okay, if we've got a long trigger, we're targeting back up into the next sticky zone here. Okay, around 740, 750 region. Okay, well, again, if you want exact levels, then you're gonna have to come into our group to see this, because I'm not going to give exact levels within this. Well, what if that point of control doesn't hold? Well, if that point of control doesn't hold, then we're still going down to this. Now, the origin of the second part of the move. Okay, and we can see here we've got a high volume cluster down here. Okay, so if it starts to come down here, then gets that change, then again you've got a long. If not, then you're coming down into this sticky zone here, which effectively is the origin of the entire move altogether, which that's what, 410 give or take for easy numbers, 410 to 416. Okay, that's better. What if it just continues up? Okay, well, if it just continues up, then we've got to look beyond this then. So if it starts getting above these highs here without a significant pullback, then we are going to start contesting these highs. Okay, and then we're just playing it level to level. Do we get a significant pullback after contesting these highs? Do we come up, swing fairly pattern, then you get your short trigger, or does it continue higher? Does this give us a reaction? Okay, bear in mind it's quite an illiquid coin is this, because you can see this from the big wicks. Okay, then you just target in each high individually. Okay, so like my initial plan was, if no reaction here, did we get a significant pullback off there? No. Well, we ended up coming into the middle of the algo pocket. Okay, so you're targeting each high, just like when price is coming down, you're targeting the liquidity zones on the way down. Okay, where's the liquidity zone? Here, coming into here. Okay, very simple. LPT. Next, fetch.ai, FET, whatever you want to call it. Another one we're looking in the group. Okay, you can see this was yesterday. I was posting this yesterday afternoon. I was saying if FET gives me a decent reaction in the zone, I'd be interested at not rushing into anything before seeing some weakness though. Okay, so what was I looking at here? Well, quite simply, once again, from the high to the low algo pocket, and there you go. Okay, and in the end this ended up reacting from the golden pocket. Okay, so we can see this around a volume profile here, didn't quite get up to that point of control. Okay, but we got into the last stage here and had a nice decent pullback. Now admittedly I'd like this to go a little smidge higher, but either way it's fine. It gives the reaction. Okay, and I know some of the guys in the group caught this. I personally didn't, because I'd like it to come slightly higher for my entry requirements, but in the end, if you caught that, you're sitting comfortably on what, a 3-hour trade so far. Okay, so what am I looking for next? Well, let's hide this. Okay, if this continues to roll over, okay, then are we looking at the origin of the move again? Okay, now does it come down here and give us a chance to long? Great, get involved. If it comes down here and it just continues going through these stops, then there's no opportunity to long. Okay, Now, the higher time frame on FET actually is no different to what I've given you before. Okay, so if you start to lose these lows, then ultimately looking back down at this previous range down here. Okay, there's no difference on that. So zoom up to a daily chart here so you can see that. Okay, so we start coming down here, then you want to see, do we get a reaction back at this range, or do we get acceptance back into this range, and then we're just trading this again. Okay, so that's what I'll be looking at to the downside, if it continued to roll over and take out these lows. Okay, now what about to the upside? Okay, well, if it continues up, then we're taking out the liquidity from above here. If we do that, do we get that change? Do we get a short trigger? Okay, yes, no. If no, do we get acceptance back into this old value range here? If we do, then I'm starting to look up towards that point of control again. Okay, I'm just looking to where the volume is. So all I'm doing, and I'm using other technical analysis to back up my ideas once it gets there. Okay, but you can see the bulk of my analysis is based around volume. Okay, because the volume can't lie. The volume's not leading, the volume's not lagging, the volume can't lie. It's where people are positioned or where people are positioning. Okay, so that's all you need to know. Okay, obviously, if you want to learn this in more depth, then first and foremost, come over to our website, spitfiretraders.com. Okay, on here, access to our free Discord if you want to get in there. There's plenty of resources in here. There's a free position size calculator on here. We've got a journal which has got loads of jargon breakdown and articles that you can read at your own time. And obviously, if you do want to take your trading to the next level, then come check out our technical analysis course, which will cost you the grand old price of 60 Great British Pounds, or $59.95, or in dollars, that's $75. Okay, and within this, then you'll get access to our video library with over 28 in-depth modules covering all forms of TA that I use. So that's volume analysis, that's Fibonacci. There's so much, it's unreal. Okay. And you'll also then, if I bring up this screen here, you'll see that these are all the modules that you get access to. Okay. I will be doing another chat and chill stream tonight, which means that we'll be going over Bitcoin high time frame and low time frame trading ideas, including my up-to-date Elliott wave counts, whether I think the bottom's in or not. We'll also look at some commodities, some stocks, some FX, and we might look at some altcoins as well, depending on if we have time. So yeah, if you want access to all this, including my daily trading plans, where I give my thoughts and my areas of interest, okay, then come join the group. Okay, until next time, gang, as you were, don't forget to like the video, and if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. All right, gang, bye-bye.